Yo, what's up, guys? This week we have something absolutely amazing. My very own Grapple guide. I've been excited to make this for you guys, and I hope you're ready to learn how to fly around and slingshot just like me. So, prepare your mind. I'm your coach, Grip6, and let's get started. I'm going to demonstrate everything here in this guide using the default controller with default binds. This is what I'm most comfortable with, and I feel like you watching the inputs that I give with this setup will really be able to allow you to translate that to whatever your input method is. So you can simulate everything that I do on my controller diagram with a modded controller or the mouse and keyboard. Just make sure you know how to translate your inputs so that they're mimicking mine, and you will be golden with a lot of practice. And trust me, I know it's going to take a lot of practice, but you can eventually get the hang of it. So first things first is that the grapple, when you give the input for it, goes directly to the middle of the screen. So that's the dot on my crosshair right here. The best places to send your grapple when starting a slingshot is usually on the edge of a building or anywhere there's a route for you to go around whatever your grapple is actually hitting. You're not grappling to where your grapple is hitting, you're grappling beyond it. This way, you can get a ton of speed without having to worry about hitting anything while you're flying around. Next thing you need to do when running a slingshot is jump the instant that the hook hits whatever you're aiming for. This lets you have a bunch of extra height to your slingshot, and is why I can go so far with my slingshot. You probably will want to practice getting the timing for this, so just go to a random place in a private match and practice your timing like I'm doing here. The next step is when you give the jump input. Give the movement and camera input in the opposite direction that you are trying to go. So for instance, for this slingshot, I'm trying to go to the right ultimately. So I begin the grapple by looking and moving to the left with my inputs. The trick to this is that the grapple won't break as long as it is somewhere within your camera. So make sure it at least stays in the very corner of your screen, and for the most part, you'll be fine. Once you get about midway through the grapple, you want to swap your inputs back to the way that you are trying to go. So if you watch closely to what I'm doing here on my controller diagram, about midway through the slingshot, I swap my movement and camera inputs back to the right, and this slingshots me past where my grapple is and sends me flying through the air. The grapple breaks once it is out of the camera view, and now you're flying. If you did the jump correctly at the beginning, you'll still have your double jump afterwards, and you can get even further. You can use the double jump during the grapple if you want to, and you need a little bit of extra height during it, but I prefer to save my double jump for once the grapple is already broken, just to get a little bit more distance on my grapples. Now that you know how to slingshot, I'll show you my favorite way to do it. The first one is to fly across the map and kick someone in the face, as seen here. The second is to get really good starts at the beginning of matches, as you can see here. And the third is to grapple to the tops of buildings and get in some fun gunfights. You can also do small grapples like I'm demonstrating here, just to confuse an enemy when you're in a gunfight and get above them and get a weird advantage over them that can make the difference in your gunfights. But anyways, that's my grapple guide. Make sure you join all the communities down below and like the video and subscribe to the channel. And once again, I'm your coach, Grip6. I'll see you next week, and keep learning.